Howdy y'all, it's Reese, aka Bearman Prime on this May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo, and welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me, sure to appreciate it. Card in the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist, and please hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, all the YouTube things. Comment down below, all the good stuff. Alright, so yesterday we met the official Haman, who is the kind of the highest ranking official in the court of King Xerxes of Persia right now, and he's so important that it has been written into law that everyone in the empire who sees him must bow down to him and give honor and praise to him. And most people actually do follow this law, except for one, Mordecai the Jew. And when this one man who refuses to give in to the law of man and instead remains true to his God and follows God's command, uh, Haman just cannot reconcile that. He is just so disgusted and so angry with not just him, but with the Jewish people in general that they would dare not give him honor and glory that he feels he deserves. And so he has enacted a plan that on a particular day later in the year, that all the Jews throughout the Persian Empire, living in the Persian Empire, will be killed immediately. Every soul and all their possessions will be taken for the empire. He is acting under the king's authority, though unbeknownst to the king right now, his new wife, Esther, his queen, is in fact a Jew. So let's see how this plays out. Let's go over to Esther chapter 4 today, starting in verse 1. When Mordecai heard about all that had been done, he tore his clothes. Then he put on sackcloth, put ashes on his head, and went out into the city crying loudly. But Mordecai went only as far as the king's gate. No one was allowed to enter the gate dressed in sackcloth. In every province where the king's command had come, there was much crying and sadness among the Jews. They were fasting and crying loudly. Many Jews were lying on the ground dressed in sackcloth, with ashes on their heads. Esther's slave women and eunuchs came to her and told her about Mordecai. This made Queen Esther very sad and upset. She sent clothes for Mordecai to put on instead of the sackcloth, but he would not accept them. Then Esther called Hathach, one of the king's eunuchs who had been chosen to serve her. She commanded him to find out what was bothering Mordecai and why. So Hathach went out to where Mordecai was in the open place of the city in front of the king's gate. Then Mordecai told Hathach everything that had happened to him. Mordecai told him about the exact amount of money Haman had promised to put into the king's treasury for killing Jews. Mordecai also gave Hathach a copy of the king's command to kill the Jews. The command had been sent out all over the city of Susa. He wanted Hathach to show it to Esther and tell her everything, and he told him to encourage Esther to go to the king and beg him for mercy for Mordecai and her people. Hathach went back and told Esther everything Mordecai had said. Then Esther told Hathach to say this to Mordecai. Mordecai, all the king's leaders and all the people of the king's provinces know this. The king has one law for any man or woman who goes to the king without being called. That person must be put to death unless the king holds out his gold scepter to them. If the king does this, that person's life will be saved. And I have not been called to go see the king for 30 days. Then Esther's message was given to Mordecai. When he got her message, Mordecai sent his answer back. Esther, don't think that just because you live in the king's palace, you will be the only Jew to escape. If you keep quiet now, help and freedom from the Jews will come from another place. But you and your father's family will all die. And who knows, maybe you have been chosen to be the queen for such a time as this. Then Esther sent this answer to Mordecai. Mordecai, go and get all the Jews in Susa together and fast for me. Don't eat or drink for 3 days and nights. I and my women servants will fast too. After we fast, I will go to the king. I know it is against the law to go to the king if he didn't call me, but I will do it anyway. If I die, I die. So Mordecai went away and did everything Esther told him to do. All right. So things are getting set up here. So obviously the Jews are incredibly upset by this turn of events, that they are going to be destroyed by this Gentile, this person, Haman. But I think, as we all know, God is not going to allow his people to be destroyed so easily like that. And even Mordecai says it here. Perhaps you, Esther, have been made queen for such a time as this. And indeed, we'll see that is true. Esther was placed in just the right position at the right time to enact God's will and protect his people. And so here we see that they are going through a period of fasting, which is an important action for any believer, really, to take time to abstain from something that is important, such as, in this case, it's food, but it could be anything, and to take that time to focus on God. And so they're really, really trying to hone in and listen to God and understand what He needs them to do. So we'll pick it up there tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.